This is what I'm doing.
Standing in the truck.
Getting rid of all that rust. See the surface rust?
Yeah.
Take this to it. Now it's nice and flat, and I just wipe it down, and we're good to go. This stuff is amazing. 2 bottles of this at Ollie's, $7. It's so nice. It for the motor, it's a degreaser for the motor and cleaning anything. It's just perfect. You just spray that shit on there, and when it's really greasy, you want to let it sit so it eats into it, but you just spray it on there and then you wipe it away. Especially what I'm doing is I'm cleaning everything up, and then I'm going to spray the glossy black, so it's going to be a nice orange motor, glossy black interior, because the truck used to be blue,
Yeah.
metallic blue. That used to be the entire truck, but they painted it black. And when the engine overheated, it blew water out of here and practically probably everywheres, and everything was covered. I have pictures of it, but is that somebody? Yeah, and I had taken a spark plug out of one of the heads, and my dad was underneath getting the converter bolts out. When you do that, you got to rotate the motor so you can get to the bolts.
Yeah.
When he did that, I was on top of the motor undoing one of the bell housing bolts on the transmission to undo the motor, and he was like, "Oh, what'd you undo?" And I'm like, "Nothing." He was like, "I'm getting all wet. What'd you undo?" Must have hit something. I'm like, "I didn't hit anything. My arm was up here, and I'm undoing the bolt." I was like, "Is it like a water valley in the motor or something? Like, is it coming through the hole that I just undid?" He's like, "Oh no, holy shit!" Water was pouring out of number 5 spark plug hole when he was turning the motor over. It built up
Wow.
compression and just pushed water out of the cylinder, so that thing was filled with water.
Wow.
And that can cause engines to basically blow up, because you're having all that combustion and the water's there. If nothing has no place to go, you're going to throw a connecting rod through the block or something. It's amazing what water can do. Lucky. And the 305 on the side porch, we were considering that when we saw the piston and the number 5, the cylinder wall. It was a little bit scratched because when the piston pieces came off, it kind of like did some damage to the wall. But we have a honer and we honed it out a little bit, so it's still usable. But I was considering on rebuilding the 305. But when I looked up parts for that, it's so much more expensive, like I was telling you. And it's unbelievable, because usually smaller the motor, cheaper the parts, but not in that case, not with Chevy. 318 is cheaper than a big block, or like a 360 for Chrysler, but 305 versus 350, just go with 350. Cheaper parts and you get more power.
That's like that Monte Carlo that's on Craigslist that I'm looking at. It's a 305.
I mean, depending what it needs, but the whole rebuild kit for 350 is like 250 something. 305, it's like 3 something, and it doesn't even make sense. I don't know why. I mean, the only thing I can think of is they're more common, they're more popular,
Yeah.
So everybody's making stuff for 350s and 305. Nobody really wants a 305. So I guess that's the downfall, but you can always, if it's running and driving, you could always just do a tune-up and leave it at that. And if problems get worse, invest in a 350.
Alright.
Yeah, just make sure you don't get overspray on your camera. Switch to my thumb. Grill. I'll do that like another day. Some other day. How much better? I can spray on here too. Cleaned her up pretty good. Damn hick. I'm gonna do fuck my sister. I'm gonna edit that part out. Oh, Christ.
I don't have a sister.
Nope. I'm aware of that, David.
Huh?
I'm aware of that.
Huh?
That looks amazing. That used to be blue.
I'm gonna lick it.
Get away from my truck.
Get away from my camera.
Ow! Splinter in my fucking hand. Where were you recording? Yes. Oh, that's great. No, when I cut, there's splinters, and when I went like that, being a smart ass, it fucking went in my hand. Now I got boo boo. The red light's blinking. That means it's on. That finger. Where you stand. I need a new piston. Walk with me. Something inside me feels breathing slow. There's no room in this garage. I need less projects. Less projects equals more money too. Okay, let's go outside. God damn it, why didn't you fucking leave first? Which way is this open? Opens the other way. Whatever, Summit. You shouldn't make screwed up boxes. See, there's the pin. That's what we pressed out to get the connecting rods free from the old pins. That's a new piston. What I need to do is, see if I can explain this real good. I need to make a jig for when I got to heat up the connecting rods. Take number 1 from here. Basically, I got to make a jig for when I heat up the connecting rods. I'll put this in here. I'll push this pin through, but I need to make a jig so the piston stays put and this only goes so far in so that this is in the center. Because I want this perfectly in the center on that pin. Alright, so that's what I need to do. These need to be heated up to like, I think 400 degrees, my dad said. And then just stick this in there, bloop. But the thing is, this is going to be against here, so this is going to actually stick out a little bit more. And then when it cools off and gets stuck to the pin, you'll be able to slide it back, and it'll be in the center. So I got to do all the measurements and all for that. So I guess I better do that. If you're 5'5", then I'm 6'6", because I'm. Yeah, Mark. Do I have a Sharpie in here? No. I lost my Sharpie. Oh, there. My intake's so pretty. This one looks so good on that. He's not supposed to be here. And there's a water pump painted last night. Oh.
That was straight. Like it fucking matters.
It doesn't, as long as it's there. Because what I gotta do now is I have this. I'll probably put screws here to just hold this piston straight. And I don't know if... See, the way I'm thinking is, if this needs to be in the thing. Also, your connecting rods go one way, and I already marked them so they face the front of the motor. Pistons come marked with a dot, so that's going to be facing the front of the motor. So when I put all these together, I'll probably face the front that way, and then when I put the connecting rod on, it has to be this way too. So, but I'll get this centered, and then right about there. So I got to make a stopper right here, because that's as far as the pin's got to go, right here where my finger is. So I'm gonna put another piece of wood and screw it there. And then when that's stopped, I'll just slide it forward, and that's like basically in the center. So that's what I gotta do now. I'll probably just cut the other half of this. Tarzan. Oh. These don't cut through metal too good, so I gotta move over. I've done that. So, this little fella right here is gonna go in there. He's gonna be in the center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide that. Try it again. Gonna slide that. Back. Keeps moving. There we go. Now what I'll do is put this piece of wood up against that pin. And I'm gonna mark it.
I'm missing a piece of wood.
Now, just gonna go here. Basically, this is gonna be heated up, and then once it's hot enough, we're gonna put this down here. We're gonna be able to actually push this in with our fingers, but this pin's only gonna go through far enough to where it hits that piece of wood. And then when that happens, we'll pull it forward, and then the pin's perfectly in the middle, and so is the connecting rod. I'm a fucking genius. I gotta put a screw here though. One more time, motherfuckers.
And you're heating up the connecting rod with
I'll probably light my furnace that I melt aluminum with. But my dad needs to go to the welding place to get a crown, because basically it's a wax crown and you can put wax all over this, and then when you put in heat, the wax is rated to a certain temperature, and when it gets to that temperature it melts. So visibly, if you need a certain temperature like 400 degrees, and that's what that wax crown is for, if you put it on here and the wax melts, you know it's that hot, so then you can do what you need to do. I think I'm gonna put a screw there and then a screw there. Let's see how that works. I'll probably have to take them out. They'll probably be in the way. Yeah, it's too much. Unless I bend them back.
I'm not afraid of you.
Let me do some. Dun, 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 dun. Perfect. It kind of like hugs them. And they're not really gonna move. It's where it needs to be. So, that's done. Moving on. Put this back. Beautiful, isn't it? My piston connecting rod pin installer.